Today, Pam Bondi testified before the House Judiciary Committee. We watched it, so you don't have to. It looked like this.
Does that answer your question?
No, not even a little bit.
Then our work here is done.
Okay, that wasn't literally Pam Bondi, that was Saturday Night Live. But it was very much like that, in that Pam Bondi did what Pam Bondi does. That is, she lied, she deflected, she did everything but answer the questions. She insulted members of the House Judiciary Committee. But the House Committee, I think, learned from her appearance before the Senate that this would be her game plan, and they came prepared. You might remember when Bondi testified before the Senate Judiciary Committee, instead of answering questions, she one after another just insulted the Democratic members of the committee who asked her legitimate oversight questions.
Who gave the order to flag records related to President Trump?
To flag records for President Trump?
To flag any records which included his name.
I'm not going to discuss anything about that with you. I wish you loved Chicago as much as you hate President Trump. And currently, the National Guard are on the way to Chicago. If you're not going to protect your citizens, President Trump will.
So the House came prepared for her usual insults and deflection. Not that it necessarily stopped Bondi from doing her usual obstruction. So there was the deflection where she would point to anything but her own responsibility. A constant refrain during the hearing was Pam Bondi blaming Merrick Garland.
Merrick Garland sat in this chair twice.
Mr. Chairman,
why
I have asked
didn't she ask Merrick Garland this? Didn't ask Merrick Garland anything about Epstein.
And then there was the necessary flattery of Donald Trump in answer to questions because she wants to keep her job, and that's obligatory. Here she is making a lot of false compliments of her boss.
They said it couldn't be done in 4 years, yet President Trump has done it in 1 year. All the great things Donald Trump has done. There is no evidence that Donald Trump has committed a crime. This has been the most transparent presidency.
And probably most laughable in terms of the deflections, here she is talking about the Dow.
The Dow is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin. The Dow is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost 7,000. And the NASDAQ smashing records. Americans' 401ks and retirement savings are booming. That's what we should be talking about. We should be talking about making Americans safe. We should be talking about, what does a Dow have to do with anything? That's what they just asked. Are you kidding?
But let's go through some of the highlights or lowlights of the questioning of Pam Bondi. First, let's look at Pramila Jayapal from Washington State. She asked if there were victims present in the hearing room. There were. Here's what that looked like.
To the survivors in the room, if you are willing, please stand. And if you are willing, please raise your hands if you have still not been able to meet with this Department of Justice. Will you turn to them now and apologize for what your Department of Justice has put them through with the absolutely unacceptable release of the Epstein Files and their information?
Congresswoman, you sat before, Merrick Garland sat in this chair twice.
Attorney General Bondi,
No, can I finish my answer?
No, I'm going to reclaim my time because I asked you a specific
yes,
question. This is not about anybody that came before you. It is about you taking responsibility for your Department of Justice.
She accused Jayapal of getting down in the gutter or theatrics, but we saw nothing but theatrics from Bondi today. No real answers to that question, no apology, no acceptance of responsibility. Once again, deflection to Merrick Garland. One other really interesting thing came out during Jayapal's questioning of Bondi, and that is this photograph taken by the press. Now, what that photograph reveals is that when Jayapal, and presumably when other members have gone to the Justice Department to review the unredacted files, that their search history, that is what documents they were searching for in the files, was secretly being recorded by Pam Bondi's Justice Department. They were basically surveilling the work that members of Congress were doing to find out what the Justice Department was hiding. That is just another appalling abuse by the Justice Department. Another key interchange during the hearing took place when Jerry Nadler of New York asked Bondi how many people had been investigated or prosecuted by the Justice Department in connection with these crimes against minors.
How many of Epstein's co-conspirators have you indicted? How many perpetrators are you even investigating?
First, you showed it. I find it.
How many have you indicted?
Excuse me. I'm going to answer the question.
Answer my question.
No, I'm going to answer the question the way I want to answer the question.
No,
Your
you're going to answer the
theatrics are
question the
ridiculous.
way I asked it.
Chairman
How many have you
Jordan, I'm not
indicted?
going to get in the gutter with these people,
How many
but
have you-
I'm going to answer the question.
How many have you indicted?
Again, the time
You're
belongs to
claiming my time.
the time belongs.
I think it's very
You're claiming
interesting.
my time.
I think it's very
You're claiming my
interesting.
time.
You can
When
reclaim
he
your
talks
time,
about
but
they
claiming my time,
indicted,
Mr.
the
Chairman.
president said they
Close the
indicted
clock.
him
Mr.
twice.
Chairman, please
They
stop the
sure
clock
did.
and
And
stop
he
the clock and
indicted-
restore his time.
Okay, here we go with these
Committee will be in order.
theatrics.
So during that questioning where Jerry Nadler's just trying to get an answer, she's attacking Nadler, she then attacks Raskin, attacks his legal credentials. Really, Pam Bondi attacking Jamie Raskin over his legal credentials and expertise? Pam Bondi, this hack made for TV lawyer, is questioning. I'm sorry, it's just too absurd to be believed, but
And I told you about that, Attorney General, before you started.
You don't tell me.
Yeah, oh, I
anything,
did tell you because we
washed
saw
up
what you did in the
loser
Senate.
Lawyer, not even a lawyer.
Committee will be in order.
another telling interchange took place with Joe Neguse of Colorado. Joe Neguse asked about some of the people Pam Bondi has brought in, has hired in the Justice Department, including the men seen in this video.
You guys are disgusting, man. Hey, you guys are disgusting. I'm former law enforcement. You're disgusting. You are the Nazi. You are the Gestapo. You can't see it because you're chasing your pension, right? Pension. Your retirement, right? That's what runs your life, your retirement. The sad thing is they're not even going to get their pension because it's going to be worthless. And shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you. Yeah. Fuck that.
The man in that video, the one who is in the police-worn body cam footage, the one allegedly yelling, "Kill him," at police officers on January 6th, his name is Jared Wise.
He does work for us.
He works for you at the Department of
he
Justice.
does. He does.
This is an individual whom a federal grand jury indicted for 2 felonies and 4 misdemeanors related to his participation in the attack on January 6th. One of those charges was forcibly assaulting, resisting, opposing, impeding, intimidating, and interfering with police with the intent to commit another felony. This is who you choose as the chief law enforcement officer of the United States of America to hire at the Department of Justice.
I believe he was pardoned by President Trump.
Oh, he was pardoned.
That was her answer. Pardon this guy, threatening police officers, charged with crimes in connection with January 6th, and yes, they hired him. Another powerful interchange came when Ted Lieu asked about this footage with Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein.
Like former Prince Andrew, Donald Trump attended various parties with Jeffrey Epstein. I want to know, were there any underage girls at that party or at any party that Trump attended with Jeffrey Epstein?
This is so ridiculous, and that they are trying to deflect from all the great things Donald Trump has done. There is no evidence that Donald Trump has committed a crime. Everyone knows that. This has been the most transparent presidency.
Now, Ted went on to basically call Pam Bondi a liar, which is what she is. And we got the same faux outrage from Pam Bondi, and Ted Lieu handled that beautifully. Here's that scene.
Because I believe you just lied under oath. There is ample evidence in the Epstein files.
Don't you ever accuse me of a crime.
I believe you just lied under oath, and this is all on videotape. You said there's no evidence of a crime. I'm showing you. Here is a witness statement who called into the FBI's Threat Operations Center. He drove Donald Trump around in a limo. He overheard what Donald Trump said to Jeffrey on his cell phone. He was so angry, he was going to stop a limo and hurt Donald Trump. and he met a girl who said she was raped by Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. She later had her head blown off, and officers at the scene said that could not have been suicide. And as we sit here today, there are over 1,000 sex trafficking victims, and you have not held a single man accountable. Shame on you. If you had any decency, you would resign right after this hearing concludes.
Now, in case you think all of the pushback to Bondi and the Justice Department's terrible handling of the Epstein files came from Democrats, there was at least one Republican with the courage to stand up to Pam Bondi and demand better for the victims of Epstein's crimes. And that was Thomas Massie of Kentucky, one of the authors of the discharge petition and the legislation to require the release of the Epstein files.
Who's responsible? Are you able to track who in your organization made this massive failure and released the victims' names? Are you able to track who it was that obscured Les Wexner's name as a co-conspirator in an FBI document? Do you have that kind of accountability?
I believe Wexner's name was listed more than 4,000 times.
Yeah, I already told you that. This is where he's listed as a co-conspirator.
Can I finish my answer?
Now, the hearing today rightfully focused on the Epstein files and the terrible handling of the Epstein files by Pam Bondi, all her lies about it. Bondi was also asked about Howard Lutnick and his ties to Epstein and his lies about those ties. And here was her deflection about Lutnick.
Yes or no, has the Justice Department asked Secretary Lutnick about his ties to Epstein?
Excuse me. Secretary Lutnick has addressed those ties himself.
I'm asking you, has the Justice Department specifically asked Secretary Lutnick about his ties to Jeffrey Epstein?
He has addressed those ties himself.
It was basically to question what his ties really mean, but what it demonstrated was there was no interest, no willingness to look in their own house in this administration for their own complicity, relationships, ties to this child sex trafficker, even after Epstein had been convicted of trafficking minors. Now, this hearing was rightfully focused on the Epstein files, but one very important area of oversight was also necessary, and I don't think it got fully explored to the degree it should have. And that is the fact that under Pam Bondi's leadership, the Justice Department just tried to indict 6 of my Senate and House colleagues. Tried to indict them for the offense of speaking the truth. That is, of saying that members of the military do not have to follow illegal orders. Indeed, they have a duty not to. And for making that plainly truthful statement, Pam Bondi's Justice Department tried to charge them as criminals. That may be the single worst abuse of this department so far. And that is going to require its own investigation and oversight. Someone has to be held accountable for the abuse of power, the weaponization of this department. If that doesn't come now, because Republicans are just turning the other way when their colleagues are being wrongfully investigated. If that's not going to happen in this Congress, it will happen in the next, when that Congress changes with a different majority. So thanks for watching tonight's video. We started doing these nightly videos as a way of identifying something really important that happened today or this week, what we should make of it, and how we can fight back. As you can see, I like to include movie clips. If you have any suggestions for other movie clips I should include in future videos, please share them with us. And thank you for following along.